Hi everyone, it's Gina K from Gina K Designs and your host of Stamp TV. And today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you a fun background technique using the Tim Holtz Alcohol Inks and some of the Gina K Designs fancy foils. Now I'm using the Wild Dandelion fancy foil, and this is going to create a beautiful gold look. Now, when you first get started with alcohol inks, you definitely need some sort of slippery or shiny paper, and I'm using the Tim Holtz Yupo Paper, which I just love. I've cut a piece down here to the right size, and then I'm going to use this package of alcohol inks. Now, there's tons of beautiful colors. I'm using the turquoise and the limeade, but check out all of the colors of alcohol inks that Tim has. There's just an amazing array. I'm also going to be using some alcohol blending solution. I'm going to be using this blending tool with a little felt piece on top of it. And then I'm also going to be using that Wild Dandelion fancy foil. And this is the foil by Gina K Designs and ThermOWeb. So to begin, I'm going to use some of the turquoise and I'm going to put a few dots onto the felt of my blending tool. Now this is just one of many ways that you can apply alcohol ink to the Yupo paper. And I did a whole bunch of different ways on this one piece to get the look that I got. But I started like this, just bouncing on top of the Yupo paper and just blending the color across the piece of cardstock. And I wanted to see what kind of look that would give me. And it was definitely a soft look. And that's what's cool about alcohol inks, is that there are so many different looks that you can get. But you can't mess it up. That's the cool thing about it. So now I'm going to add a little bit of alcohol blending solution. Now the blending solution is similar to the blending solution for Copic markers. It doesn't really blend, but it rather lifts color, but it also allows the color to glide a lot on this paper. So I added some of that blending solution, and then I added some more ink, and you can see it kind of glides and veins along that blending solution, and I love that look. And I just keep adding color. So now I'm adding just some straight color without the blending solution to really create almost like a snakeskin pattern. And this is how it ended up, and I was really happy with this look. So here I am taking some of that fancy foil and I am rubbing it all over the surface of this alcohol inked Yupo paper. What's happening here is most of the alcohol ink has dried, but right along the edges of the veins, all those veins are still a little bit tacky. So when you take foil and you rub that foil over those tacky veins, the foil sticks to the veins and it creates a real beautiful polished stone look. So it looks like it's got all kinds of metal running through it. And you can see here when I turn it in the light how it just grabbed on all of those veins. So of course I couldn't stop. I had to do a little bit more. And you can also do this with other colors. So you're not limited to gold and silver. You can do this with a turquoise foil or with a sparkle foil, and it will give you beautiful results. So just a couple more areas, and I'm going to show it to you in the light again. That's so pretty. So for my next step, I want to show you just quick how to clean your mat. You should work on a mat, and this is the Tim Holtz Ranger mat. I'm going to just use a little bit of the blending solution to clean it up. You can also use alcohol to clean it up, but I didn't have any close by, and so a little squirt of the blending solution will get all of that alcohol ink up. So that's an easy way to clean it. So now it's time to add this beautiful alcohol ink piece of cardstock to a layer of white. And I just used the Gina K Designs Adhesive Dot Runner to adhere this together, and it works great on the Yupo paper. So now I'm going to add a little fancy ribbon. This is the sheer satin fancy ribbon, the white and gold. It's got that beautiful gold fleck in it, and it just coordinates so nicely with the wild dandelion foil in the alcohol ink background. And again, I'm going to use the adhesive dot runner to adhere that to the white piece, and then the whole thing is going to go onto a piece of sea glass. And look how beautiful that turquoise alcohol ink and the sea glass cardstock match. Such a pretty color combination. I just love that. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss this stitched oval stamp. Now this stitched oval comes from the Warm Spring Wishes stamp set by Gina K Designs. And I'm going to use some VersaMark on that as well. And then I'm going to emboss it in the Gina K Designs Fine Detail Gold Embossing Powder. And I really felt like all of these elements needed some embossing because I wanted to stick with that shiny theme from the fancy foil in that background. So here I'm embossing that oval with my brand new Wagner heat tool. I had heard so many wonderful things about this heat tool, and I decided that I needed one, and it really is good. It heats up your embossing powder so fast. So now that that is done, I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of a new die that's coming to Gina K Designs on February 19th. And this is called the Elegant Oval Die. And this is what it looks like when it's all cut out. And that stitched oval from Warm Spring Wishes really fits in there nicely. So now I'm using the 2 butterflies from Warm Spring Wishes. And I love these butterflies because they've got lots of areas that you can color inside of them. And they're really nice to emboss. This is a very old set from Gina K Designs, several years old. It used to be a Stamp TV kit, and I still reach for this set over and over again. So I'm going to stamp both of these butterflies with VersaMark, and then I'm going to use the same Gina K Designs Fine Detail Gold Powder, and I'm going to melt that onto my cardstock. And that really, really melts fast. So you can see what this looks like in the light, all of that beautiful shine. So I'm going to cut these butterflies out with the Warm Spring Wishes dies. And then I'm going to color them. And I've got 2 Copic markers here. And I'm going to color the different little spots in those butterflies using these Copic markers. And I know that it's a little bit blurry there, but I will list the numbers of the Copic markers in the description on YouTube and also on my blog. So I'm starting with this turquoise color, and I'm just going to skip spots on the butterfly, so I'm alternating the blue, the turquoise blue, and then the green. And I'm just finishing up. I didn't do any special blending or shading or anything, just straight away color to give it kind of a stained glass look. For my greeting, I decided to use a greeting from the All About You mini set. I reach for that mini set over and over again because it's got such great greetings to make cards of encouragement and friendship. And the greeting that I'm using here is the You Mean the World to Me. And once again, I emboss that with the Gina K Designs Fine Detail Gold Powder. So now I'm going to adhere this oval onto my card front using some of the ThermOWeb and Gina K Designs foam squares. I'm using the white ones. And I'm going to just offset that a little bit so that it kind of covers up the rest of that sea glass on the other side. Just a little offset. And then I'm going to add the butterflies. Now for the larger butterfly, I am popping this one up using the foam squares to give that some dimension. And the other butterfly I'm actually going to stick right onto the oval. And I'm going to use some of the adhesive dot runner for that. And I'm going to pop that right up at the top. And there is my finished card project. I hope you enjoyed today's Stamp TV video, and I hope you'll give this technique a try. Here are a couple other videos you might be interested in, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon on Stamp TV.